Yo, I want to be nice. I wonder where I've heard this before. I don't need to be erudite to know that the math is not mathing. Where is Susan? Full disclaimer, last time I did not have a script. This time I've got a script. I don't know what the difference is gonna be. Let's just see. Every single time I have sat down to record this video, and also Divergent, the first video, some shit has happened. I had so many interruptions and so many technical difficulties when I was recording Divergent. Today, I've got a headache. The babies are crying. What's gonna happen when I record the next video? Because this is feeling like the AO3 curse but in video. The last time I didn't know exactly what was the sixth faction about, so I'm going to show you now. This is from Goodreads. I don't really want to know too much about it. I want to go into it not knowing much and being surprised. One choice will change everything. So I'm assuming something happens where she's unable to pick, and so then she becomes factionless. 4 is also factionless, and that's how they meet. Will his mother still be... Okay, wait. That's getting into spoiler territory. Let's talk about this book. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This book pissed me off. Insurgent, the sequel to Divergent, it pissed me the fuck off. So I was planning on recorded Divergent. I was going to read Insurgent the next day and then record the day after. That did not happen. It took me like a couple of days to finish Insurgent. There's just so much happening. I'm just gonna come out and say I wish this was a duology, and I wish that the things that happen in this book could have just been the beginning of the last book. We could have cut out so much. This book, why does this book exist? 2 stars. This book gets 2 stars from me. I want to be nice and give it 3 stars. Yo, I want to be nice. So a reluctant 2.5 stars. It should have been a duology. Unless Allegiant changes my mind, book and movie, we start with Tris being guilty for killing Will. Valid, that was one of your best friends. But like, you could have shot him in the arm or the leg. That was also an option. I am conflicted about this whole plot point because Veronica Roth brings up the fact that she killed Will so many times. It's very repetitive. For every action that she does that's out of character, it's like, oh yeah, but she's so guilty from killing Will. Like, okay, we get it. It was a stressful situation and she had to act very quickly. But then when Tobias was in the same situation, you weren't gonna do that. Will was her friend, Tobias is her love interest, so it still feels very hypocritical. Because of her grief of her parents, she cuts her hair. From the text is, how can she look the same when they're gone? She can't. So then she cuts hair. Susan brushed her hair for her, and her mother used to do that and braid her hair. So I get why they cut her hair. We're gonna talk about the movie later. We're gonna talk about the haircut. I don't even want to talk about the movie, to be honest. Previously, I mentioned about Caleb talking to Tobias about the age thing. I love the fact that her brother had the talk with Tobias and in front of her and was like, don't you think you're a bit too old for my sister? It would have been cute, right, if I trusted Caleb. I don't trust Caleb. While I was reading this, I didn't know why I didn't trust Caleb. He just gave me vibes. And it's not because he's erudite. I blocked out the movie and the book because when I watched the movie, I distinctly remember the ending part. I do think I read the book because when they are in Amnesty and they're talking about the tree, I remember that part distinctly. So I don't know if I finished it. When Caleb is questioning her, I really like the way that the voice actor, the narrator, narrated that part because he sounded so pathetic.
Tris, I'm your brother. You can tell me anything.
She falls for it. Of course she does. I also remember while I was reading this, I was like, why are you asking so many questions? And also, why did you specifically ask her what was your aptitudes? How do you know that she has more than one? Unless I'm reading something wrong. He now knows that she has an aptitude for 3 factions. I say this because it is important for later. Let's lock it in. The fact that she has aptitudes for 3 factions. Because he's asking so many questions, I'm irritated. Tris, in her mind, is like, okay, that's a very erudite thing of him to do, which she does often. Anytime someone does something, she's like, oh yeah, but their enmity. That's so abnegation of you. I don't mind too much because to me it shows that they have been brainwashed to think you can only be what your faction is. Those attributes, you can only have those attributes. So I'm a little bit annoyed. And it's one of the reasons why she doesn't like being divergent, because it makes her a target and she can't conform. Secretly, I think like she does want to conform. That's why she went to Dauntless, but also she just wants to be free. I don't want to talk about enmity, but we're gonna talk about enmity for a little bit. The whole thing is they are peaceful. For them to stay peaceful, they don't get involved in any of the politics. They stay out of the conflict. And they also have a serum of their own. They have a peace serum. So does each faction have a serum? If you have to have a serum for your people to conform, does that not make you wonder, maybe something is wrong? Why doesn't Janine ask these questions? I guess in addition to the factions having their own cultures and behaviors and stuff, they have serum. We get to see Triss on the peace serum. It's actually hilarious to see her on the serum. The next couple of chapters is as follows. I'm just gonna read what I've got written here. Triss and Tobias make out and argue, then decide where to go from there. Triss and Tobias make out and argue, then decide where to go from there. Y'all are just arguing all the time. They don't trust each other until they keep secrets. Like Tobias's mother being alive and being the leader of the factionists. They leave Amity to go to the factionists. 4 goes Tobias Eaton. I am Tobias Eaton. I love that scene so much. Just love that scene. And ironically, from the movie. No, the book it's fine. It's just fine. So then when they get to the factionists, Triss sees that the mother's still alive. Blah blah blah. Don't care. I don't care. And from factionists find out that the Dauntless is with Candor. Then they go to Candor. This sounds like another adaptation that did useless touring about, I wonder what it could be. When they get to Candor, they are arrested. They have evidence of them being the bad guys. Guess what they do? Oh yeah, we're gonna give you truth serum because of course we have truth serum, and of course we're gonna put you under truth serum. I mean truth serum, but I mean truth serum. I wonder where I've heard this before. I feel like it's the only application that doesn't have a serum. Not that we know of, but we've never seen that. Also, how the fuck does the truth serum work on Triss? Because the peace serum work, and then Tobias is like, oh yeah, but it works because you wanted it to work. You wanted to have peace, but then she's angry afterwards. I don't know. This whole serum business is very confusing. The simulation serum worked on her. Even though she became aware, it still worked on her. But then the serum to make them zombies, that doesn't work. I'm confused. After thinking about it for more than 5 seconds, I think I understand how the serum to make them zombies work. Like I said, the simulation serum, she becomes aware. So I think with the zombie one, because Janine explains that they are seeing what they are seeing, but they are just not aware. She becomes aware, so she sees what she sees. I think I will say that I know I'm like dogging on the truth serum, but this was my favorite part of this book. Tobias under the truth serum. Tobias carried in movie and book. He confesses that he's divergent. Bam! He confesses that his parents are Marcus and I don't know the mother's name, Eden. Bam! He confesses that he left Abnegation because his father was abusive. He confesses that he regrets leaving Abnegation because he's a coward. Bam! And they ask him why, if you knew that Dauntless was corrupt, why didn't you leave? And then he says it's because he fell in love with Triss. I want to throw up, and like in a good way. He says that he was born for abnegation. I don't see that. From what I've read of him, I don't see that. I don't know. Maybe not abnegation. Maybe amnesty. He was vulnerable, but at least it gave him some character development, because in the movie, and it's just, no man, he seems so... And then Triss goes under. She administers the serum herself because she's girl boss. She's like, I'm not gonna let anyone control me anymore. But you still undergo the serum and they still ask you personal questions, so they do kind of control you in that sense. The serums to me just seem like something to further show that the divergents are special. They have this super special power, because she goes under the serum she tells the truth, but she can not lie, but she can basically suck her dick, because she went to go and save Tobias, and then they're like, so you almost died and you fought a whole bunch of erudite and dauntless that were under the simulation just to save him and to save everyone. And then they say like something along the lines of, I think everyone can agree that you deserve the faction Dauntless, or like you deserve to be in that, whatever, something like that, which I thought was like kind of cute, but also you kinda like, why would we care what you think? I just wanted to point this out. I say divergents are special because Triss is able to fight the serum and leave info out. Divergence just ends up feeling like plot armor because they're immune to simulations, immune to mind control, immune to knockout gas, and then I said the fuck. And then they're also granted multiple personalities. They ask her to think like an erudite. We need to get information, they need to do something, and then they ask her, you have an aptitude for erudite, can you use your brain? She uses her brain and it works. And the second half, things just keep happening, and so I don't have a lot to say about it. While they're at Kandor, they find out that it's half of Dauntless that, am I saying it right? I'm saying Dauntless instead of like Dauntless, are with the erudite and half are not. So half betrayed them and half didn't. I would like to note, half didn't betray them. Make a plan to go to erudite to get the info, because when she was at Amnesty, she had what the fuck, okay, I needed to write a script for this book because there was just so much happening. She had a hard drive that when the traitor Dauntless people got there, she destroyed it. And then come to find out that erudite has a server with all of the information on that multiple people can access, so they're gonna go and access the information. They don't have enough people, they don't have enough soldiers, so they're gonna need help from the factionists, of course. Then the innocent people that were shot previously with the serum, a serum that can be used from like far away. Like, I know I'm explaining like it's really shitty, but it's what is the serum even? 3 people get activated in the serum, the simulation serum. Basically, they said 3 people are gonna die every day or every 2 days until, obviously, Triss is gonna give herself up. They're able to save 2 people, but 1 person dies. Obviously works on Triss, and it works too well. It made me suspicious. Then she gets there, and who's there? Who is there? Caleb fucking bitch. Of course, this little bitch runs back. But then at the same time, I also like the fact that they are opposites, because he can't help the fact that he conforms and she can't help the fact that she doesn't conform. They're both trying to do what they think is the right thing. Yeah, but I knew he was a dirty traitor. There's so many people in this, there's so many characters, and they're so bland. Although I will say, Urea, I hope that is how you say his name. Oh my god, he is underrated and I love him. He is divergent and he knows he's divergent, and he is dauntless born. Lock that in. The information that Triss's parents died for, a message from the founders. Founders are saying violence and cruelty has been like a problem in the modern day, so they've started this experiment where they've put people in the experiment, they don't remember anything, and they've made the factions rid of the violence and the cruelty. The way that the people in the experiment know that the experiment is finally over is when there are people that do not conform. Divergence. I get it. If you do not conform, that means that you have more than one aptitude. Triss has abnegation, erudite, and dauntless. But the thing is, they didn't take into account that there are people that will try and stop cruelty, but they will use violence, like Triss, who killed people. And the founders are from outside the fence. They basically say, you guys are done now. The experiment is over. We need you now outside the fence. Come on. Everyone finds this out at the same time. This is broadcasted across the city. So the point of the experiment was for people to become divergent. That was the whole point. The leaders should have known, because in the message it said that the leaders should know, which means that Janine knew about this. Why was she still trying to kill Divergent? Why? What was the point? What was the point? Oh, by the way, the person in the footage, yeah, that was Triss's ancestor, Edith Pryor. I don't know if you wanted to know that. I don't know if that was important. What gets me is that the leaders of the government knew about this. Janine knew the system wasn't a permanent thing. All capitals. So why was she so against it? Logically, you go beyond the wall now. Devil's advocate, I guess. Maybe she wanted to stay important and she liked the system and then thought it was perfect. I'm skipping a lot because so many things happen. You get so confused so quickly. When I was writing the script, I was like, no, I'm not talking about everything. She wrote about all of these factions and then she took her time in the second book to go to all of the factions, because now we've been to all of the factions. What she could have done was the message could have been released in the beginning of the next book and then it would have been a duology. Or you could have released the message at the end of the first book. These are just my suggestions. We're gonna talk about the movie now. Where the fuck is Susan? Where is Susan? Where is Susan? Oh, where is my girl Susan? 1 star. I don't want to talk too much about the movie. I don't understand how people can say that they prefer the movie over the book, because if you hadn't read the book, the movie would make no sense. They do a lot of things without explaining why they are doing those things. So it makes the movie seem very chaotic, which the book is already chaotic by itself, but now it's chaotic and you don't have context. But let's take a moment and say thank you to Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant for Theo James. Also, Miles Taylor. Let me start by saying this. Hated him in the books, in both books. In the movie, I was hate him still, but still very conflicted. Because each time he was on screen, I laughed. Each time I giggled, because like he's too charismatic to be a bad guy. He's too charismatic. All he was trying to do, I'm not a apologist or whatever. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is he was just trying to survive, but he was like, the way that he was doing it, nah, my bro. I didn't even finish the script part for the movie because I just got so tired. I got a headache. This movie's budget went to having Theo James in the movie, because the budget could not have been more than the first one. It seemed so cheap. The CGI, the scream that she did, like at the simulation. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Now the movie. Fucking hell, dude. Okay, it's definitely inspired by the books, but these are two different universes now. They changed a tiny detail and it changed the movie completely. Why is my mom outside? Come in. Yuri, why is she going outside? So the thing that they change, in the book, you find out the information. The leaders knew about the message. In the movie, they don't know the message. The message is hidden in a box that can only be opened by a divergent. And where was this box, you may ask? The box was hidden in the Pryor's house. They had to dig a hole in the floor, some shit like that. So the footage can only be opened by a divergent. Are you kidding me? Janine didn't know this information and now is looking for a divergent to open it. Oh, and also, because we have a main character that's divergent, she has to be the one to open it. So what do? You need to be 100% divergent to be able to open it. That's not a book thing. I thought that was a book thing. It's not. It's a movie thing. So they scan people, and if you're 10% divergent, what does it even mean to be 10% divergent? You're only a little smart if you have negation. Which brings me to a thing that upset me the most. Remember when I told you earlier to lock in the fact that she has 3 aptitudes and that it is canon in both that she's got 3 aptitudes? They scan her and she's 100% divergent. How is the mathing? I don't need to be erudite to know that the math is not mathing. I just realized now, Peter, I didn't know that he was candor before. I thought he was erudite. I'm just stupid. crying with the baby. Also, why did Tris cut her hair so short? I'm looking at the script and I'm like, why did she cut her hair that short? Where is Susan? I think maybe she was, and now I'm answering the question like I didn't just ask you. I think they were filming Fault in Our Stars at that time because Tris doesn't cut her hair that short. It looks funny. Theo and Miles carried this movie. There's also a moment where there's a fight that happens between Tris and Peter, but before then she says like, we need to kill Janine. It's like a weird camera movement, and I think it happens one more time and then we don't see it again. It wants to be so dramatic, but it's so random. And then the fight, he's so funny. He's such a gaslighter, and that was fucked up that he said,
I'll stay with Caleb so that you don't get him killed too.
but like even that, also the way that they shot that was so weird because you don't see them shooting anything else like that again. That's as far as my script goes. Basically, the movie's whole plot thing is the fact that they need a divergent to open the box, and she needs to be 100% divergent because not all divergents are built the same. They make Peter more of a villain than he was in the book. Instead of Caleb being the one to tell Janine, let innocent people die and then she'll come, in the movie it's Peter that says, if you really want Tris, kill innocent people. Guys, no. An hour into the movie, I thought like 10 minutes passed because nothing happened. There was so much happening, but at the same time, nothing was happening. They captured Tris because she gave herself up. She walks past Tobias, loses her mind. That scene afterwards is funny. I'm gonna put this in.
Okay, guys, come on. Let's go. Seriously. We can do that later.
And then she almost dies opening the box, and then they save her, and then she's like, no, I need to open this, my parents died, blah blah blah. She opens the box, they release the information. They don't talk about the person from outside of the gate being her ancestor. You see why I say I feel like it doesn't really matter. We finally meet Uriah, but he's so insignificant. We did, however, get the where's your scary boyfriend doing scary boyfriend things. I didn't know that was from this movie. What? Crazy. This movie sucked. I'm not excited for Allegiant, book or movie. These are my final thoughts. This video has been so long. This book was so long. The movie was so bad. Why does this even exist? Insurgent sucks. Bad. Don't waste your time. Just watch or read the first. Read Divergent. Watch Divergent. I am obviously going to read the next one and then watch the next one. I know that they did the same thing with Twilight where the last book is split. They were going to do that with Divergent as well. So that didn't happen because it sucked. Everything goes downhill from here. I love Veronica Roth's work because I've read Carve the Mark. It is one of my favorite books. I'm going to reread that because I never read the second one. But yeah, I'm excited though. I'm excited to be doing content again. And so I'm excited to give my opinion. I love talking. I love yapping. Do all those nice things like comment, share. I don't know what else. Did you watch the video fully? Did you watch this whole video? If you didn't, that's fine. I can't force you to do anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my bite. I was suffering from a massive headache while recording this and I couldn't see half of the time. You didn't even know that. Bye guys. Toodles. Where is Susan? Where's Susan? Oh, where is my girl Susan?